As you can see, the underside of my deck is completely neglected. All you can see is the rafters, wasn't even painted. Obviously it had the slats, the rain used to come through. So enjoying the space underneath the deck was not possible. This project was one of my favorites. By creating this soffit underneath the deck, it really allowed us to take advantage of the space under the deck. And we like to sit out there, we like to drink our coffee out there. The space is phenomenal. So we used a material basically that roofers use. It's a soffit material, very cheap, very inexpensive. It comes in long lengths and it's easy to work with. It's a vinyl material. I believe it comes in spans of 15 feet long by 12 inches wide. And I used this little jig to, I created the jig to cut the pieces so I can cut them multiple at a time. And all you have to do is reverse the saw blade and create this little jig. That's not me cutting because those vinyl panels have little holes in them. But I took a picture from the web. And once you reverse the blade, it does make a little bit of noise, but it slices right through it. And that's us putting, that's us halfway through the project. It went up pretty quickly. I'll explain some of the process. So this material we used, so on the other side of the not the main area, but the smaller side of the area, we needed to whisk the water towards the gutter. That's it right there, pointing to it with the arrows. So we use this material to basically guide the water onto the other side of the beam there, so that it can get to the gutter and then leave the area. So I'm not getting water on either side of that deck. And that material worked well. It wasn't expensive. I believe it was $70 for the roll, and one roll covered the entire span of this 24-foot deck. Worked great. It basically whisks the water away from that side. All you have to do is angle it in a certain way and staple it to the sides of the rafters. Now, this is not my deck, but I wanted to show you what other people are doing. And you can only do this when you're building the deck, before you have the floor down on the deck. So what they do is you can put this same type of material along the entire span, also angled in a way where it whisks the water down away from the house, and also into a gutter type system. But you can only do that before you finish building the deck, or you have to rip apart the entire flooring. So instead of doing it this way, and I'm going to show you another picture here of the view from on top. This is just another system. Not necessary, but this is what people do if they want to keep the bottom of the deck dry, underneath the deck dry. So this is a good system, but it's not necessary. I will explain how I was able to pitch my my soffit so that the water whisks away from the house. All right. So this is not a 2x4, but I used a 2x4 for my project. This is just a simulator, right? It's just a scrap piece of wood. So what I did with the 2x4, the entire 12-foot span, I took it and I ripped it apart like this. Ripped it on the diagonal, just like this. You see that? I drew a chalk line I made sure that I tried to find the straightest 2x4s I could, and I took a chalk line across the entire 12 feet, and I made a line similar to this, basically a diagonal. This way I have two pieces. I have one piece on one side and then the other piece on the other side. And I'm gonna rip this and I'm gonna show you. Now I have two pieces. That's going to create the angle that I'm looking for. So those pieces I attached to the rafters. The small side closer to the house, the larger side away from the house. You measure basically from the large side to the house and cut the smaller end if you need to as you go onto each rafter, because each rafter is not going to be the same length. So you measure from the large side to the small side closer to the house, and apply that across the entire deck. And that's going to create the angle that we want to whisk the water away from the house into the gutter. I really enjoyed the way this came out. We added some curtains, some furniture, light fixtures, and everything just came together. Had to add a little trim to the edges, and the gutter. I actually changed it for a solid aluminum gutter. I had some roofers do that for me. Other than that, I was very pleased with the project. Thanks for following. See you next time.